Hey everybody, it's your Canadian Info Warrior and Canuck from Canuckistan Reacts, all here wrapped up in one body. And we're back for another week, but this week I don't have a video to react to because nobody's giving me any suggestions. And my feed is just jam-packed with various videos and interviews and all sorts of stuff basically about the assassination attempt on former President Trump. So I can't even find any good videos to react to because everybody's just talking about that right now. So I don't know what to do, but I figured I'd hop on here and I'd talk to you for a few minutes anyway and see what shakes loose. I don't really want to talk about the assassination attempt. That's not my wheelhouse. And I don't really want this channel to be political anyway. I want to stay away from politics on this one, as I usually do, except, with the Humble Hosers and the Canada First podcast, Sterling like to get into the politics, but and that's fine, but I don't. I generally like to stay away from that kind of thing. So, because of that, I don't really know what to talk to you about. I bought a new coffee maker. Does that interest anybody? 12 cup, Amazon's choice. It makes coffee. And it's programmable, so I can set it to make coffee the next day. That's about how interesting my life is these days. I don't know. Hopefully next week I'll manage to find something that I can do a reaction to, but for this week the pickings are pretty slim because the assassination attempt is basically overshadowing everything. So I'm here, but I don't really know what to talk about. I canceled my gym membership today, finally. I got it back in January. Not because of a New Year's resolution or anything like that. It was just at that time I felt like getting a membership. And it, didn't even occur to me that it was New Year's resolution time. But, yeah, I got a membership at a gym, and I never used it. I've got an exercise bike here that I use, but for the most part, I'm trying to correct my issues with diet. So I just never used this gym membership, but I'm such a procrastinator that I never got around to going and canceling it either. So I finally did that just like half an hour ago. So they got like 8 months out of me for free. 7 or 8 months. Because there's a 30-day cancellation policy. So I'll still get billed for another month after today. And then middle of August, that'll be it. So yeah, there's that. Went and had breakfast with a couple of the boys today, not all of them. We're missing half of us, actually. There was only 3 of us today. There's 6 of us that usually go. But 3 of us went today and had our usual breakfast at the Husky House. So I'm just getting back from that. And, even when I go to a place like that, I try to keep the carbs off my plate. I usually order an omelet with no home fries, no toast, and a side of breakfast sausages. So that's in keeping with a carnivore diet, which is basically what I'm trying to do. I'm not able to do it fully, but as much as I can, I am. I'm keeping the carbs to a real bare minimum. And I use butter and I use bacon fat and stuff like that. See, I'm just rambling now because I don't know what to talk to you about, because the whole assassination attempt is just overshadowing everything, and every channel I follow, that's what they're talking about. There's a few that aren't, but they also don't have any videos worth reacting to, so they don't count. And even good old Scott at Kentucky Ballistics, this week's video wasn't a particularly great one. I didn't really feel like doing a reaction to that one this week. Hey, what about Jack Black? What do you think of that, eh? His bandmate there saying don't miss next time, or don't miss Trump next time is what he said. And, you know, I'm not a liberal or Democratic voter. I would most usually vote conservative because my views are more centrist, but conservative is closer to what I feel than liberal or even NDP is. So, you know, I'm not aligned with the left at all. But regardless of that, I don't wish death on anybody, you know? And these far left extremists, they get so worked up about Trump, and then they go and say stupid things like, you know, the shooter shouldn't have missed, the shooter should have had his scope better adjusted, you know, don't miss next time. Like, I just can't get over that. I can't understand that line of thinking, you know. I've never wished for a Democratic president to be shot. I don't even wish for Trudeau to be shot. As much as I hate the little bastard, I don't wish death upon him. I wish justice. I want to see him tried, and I want to see him convicted of treason. That's my wish for Justin Trudeau. Now, if the sentencing comes down and is in line with what the sentencing is supposed to be for treason, which is on the books, it's still hanging. If that happens, I'm not going to shed a tear. But I'm not wishing for it. I'm not wishing for him to be dead. I'm just wishing for him to be out of office. And that's the same thing with, you know, in the American political sphere. If I was an American voter, I would just be wishing for Biden to be out of office. I wouldn't be wishing for him to be assassinated. I shouldn't be saying assassinated so often because YouTube doesn't like the word, but I think we're getting away with it right now because all the major news outlets are using it. But yeah, you know, like I've never wished anything like that upon anybody. Like I say, I would wish for him to be out of office, and I wish for Trudeau to be convicted of treason. But I don't wish death upon Trudeau or Biden. And I just don't understand the mental gymnastics necessary for leftists to justify wishing that upon Donald Trump. I don't get it. I've never understood people who have the capacity for that kind of thinking. It's atrocious. It's disgusting. But Jack Black put his money where his mouth is. He canceled all of Tenacious D's remaining tour dates because of what his band member said. He posted on social media that he did not support that. He was not aware that it was going to happen. He was blindsided by it, and that he's canceling the remaining tour dates and even considering dissolving the band. And, you know, I got to respect him for that, because he probably holds leftist views, but he understands that wishing for a politician's assassination goes beyond the pale. He understands that that's not something you should be wishing for. So I thought that was really interesting when I saw his post online and all of that stuff. All of that shite. Well, again, I still don't know what to talk about, and yet I've managed to talk for 12 minutes. Talked for 45 minutes and nobody understood a word that he said. If you get that reference, tell me in the comments, because I need people on this channel who get my references. And my shirt, if you're wondering, it says, there are two kinds of people in the world: those who can extrapolate from incomplete data. So, if that's the kind you are, then you know what it means. This is a shirt that I bought off of a now dead company called ThinkGeek. Unfortunately, it was bought out by GameStop, and GameStop basically discontinued a lot of ThinkGeek merchandise. It's almost impossible to find any of it nowadays. But I've had this shirt for several years. 5 or 6 years, probably 5 years. And it's been about 3 years, maybe a little more, since ThinkGeek was bought out. Something like that. Well, I keep saying I'm going to wrap this up, and then another random thought flies into my head. My buddy Christ is still protecting my roll of duct tape. And now he's got 3 hard drives behind him to protect too. Hey, that's another thing. If anybody knows anything about using TrueNAS operating system for network attached storage, leave me some comments or hit me up in my email or something like that. I've set it up once using TrueNAS Core. I have it running right now, but the problem is I've got the operating system on a 2 terabyte hard drive, which is a major waste of a 2 terabyte hard drive, because the operating system can be stored on a 100 gig SSD. So I've got that, and I've got a 2 terabyte hard drive for my movies pool. I want to add another 2 terabyte hard drive, and that'll be fine. I know how to make another pool on that hard drive, etc., etc. But I don't really know much about RAID, so I'm not sure how to set this up with a RAID array. And the other thing is, I'm planning to eventually buy a 240 gig SSD and use that for my operating system, which means basically a complete reinstall and then reestablishing the pool and permissions and all of that shite. And if anybody can help me walk me through that somehow, that would be great. Any tips or tricks that you might know would be awesome, because basically what I'm going to be doing is putting in a new OS disk, the 240 gig SSD, and then I'm going to be putting in 2 or 3 2 terabyte hard drives. One of them, though, already has over 1 terabyte of movies on it, and I don't want to lose those. So I need to figure out how to put that one back in to the pool, and then how to add the second one to the pool, and how to set up the RAID array, because basically I want it. I want the redundancy. I want the RAID array to be, I'm not sure which it's called. I think it's mirror, I think is the RAID setting that I want to use. And that would mirror my first drive. The second drive would mirror the first drive, so that it looks like there's only one 2 terabyte hard drive in there. I'll only have 2 terabytes of storage available to me, but the second one will copy all of that data so that I don't lose it if one hard drive goes down. Eventually, once money gets a little better again, I'm getting caught back up. That's not a big deal. But basically what I'm doing is, I had a period where I spent a bit too much money, and then regular monthly payments like the gas bill, my groceries, my truck note, all of that stuff kind of hammered my account down below the level where I like to keep it at. I like to have a bit of a cushion in that account. And because I spent too much money that 1 month, my cushion has been hammered away a bit. And so now I'm just basically letting a couple of paychecks go by without buying anything on Amazon, so that that cushion builds back up. That's all. It's not a big deal. But it means it's going to be a couple of months before I can afford to buy some bigger hard drives. And eventually the plan is to get probably 2 10 terabyte hard drives, or 12 terabytes, something like that, and have those set up in a RAID mirror array. And then I don't have to worry really about running out of space when I'm downloading movies. But also, maybe somebody could help me with this too, is I've got, now, when I download movies, they always come in their own folder. The torrents always create a folder, and then the movie is inside that folder. Well, true NAS, when you set up the pool, you set up the pool to a directory usually called movies. Now, if you're smart, you set up your torrent software to download straight into, or I thought I was smart, to download straight into that movies directory. But I found out that because the torrents create their own folders, my pool doesn't actually go into those subfolders. It only looks at the folder movies. So if I've got, for example, the movie RoboCop, in that folder movies. It's actually in a folder called movies/RoboCop. Okay, so that's two folders. It's the RoboCop folder is a subfolder to the movies folder. And then the movie itself is inside the RoboCop subfolder. So what I have to do after I've downloaded a movie is I have to go and take the movie out of the subfolder and put it into the movies folder. And now I'm left with all these empty folders that I can't delete for some reason. I guess because I don't have permission to do that from a remote computer. I would have to be at the TrueNAS computer doing it, and I don't know FreeBSD command codes well enough to do it. So I'm stuck with all these folders in there. Maybe somebody can give me a hand getting rid of those. But the big thing is I've got a couple of TV series, and I've taken them out of their subfolders and put them right into the movies folder. But for whatever reason, they're not showing up in Plex. I don't understand why. And I don't know if it's to do with permissions or what it is. So if anybody's got any advice or tips on that, that would be helpful too. I got a lot ahead of me still with that NAS server. But we're now up to 22 minutes here, so I think this time I actually will call it quits. I'm going to upload this video on my vlog channel and my Reacts channel because I don't have anything to put up on the Reacts channel, and this is a vlog, but, you know. So I'm going to put it up on both channels, and God's willing and Daffy Duck willing, we'll see y'all next week. Ciao for now.